I think particularly when you see the advancement of something like video games, like say 40 years ago, you had video games. The most advanced video game would be like Pong, where you had like two rectangles and a dot. But now you can see a video game that's photorealistic, almost photorealistic, and millions of people playing simultaneously. And you see where things are going with virtual reality and augmented reality. And if you extrapolate that out into the future with any rate of progress at all, like even 0.1% or something like that a year, then eventually those games will be indistinguishable from reality. They'll be so realistic, you will not be able to tell the difference between that game and the reality as we know it. And then it seems like, well, how do we know that that didn't happen in the past? And that we're not in one of those games ourselves?
Do you believe in the Mandela Effect? In this video, we will go over a variety of Mandela effects being discussed online. I understand some people may know all the Mandela effects, but they may be new to other viewers. I do my best to research new information and at least entertain people who may already know the ones mentioned. We all have embarrassing moments. Please let us not have one by subscribing to the channel. In the 1980s, hair bands were on top of the world, until a Seattle rock band would change music history forever by introducing the world to grunge. That band would be Nirvana, and at the helm was frontman Kurt Cobain. This Mandela Effect deals with Kurt Cobain's wardrobe, from flannel to stripes, old grandpa sweaters, and a fuzzy pink jacket. But the truth is, he never wore a fuzzy pink jacket. At least not in this reality he didn't. You can find photoshopped images of him wearing one, but there is this image that has been used as residue showing someone dressing as the famous musician, donning not only the fuzzy pink jacket, but also the iconic white sunglasses. When I trace this image back to the original post, the headline is talking about the sunglasses being Kurt Cobain's, and not the jacket. Do you remember Kurt Cobain wearing a fuzzy pink jacket? Let us be reacquainted with two musical Mandela effects from the past. There have been several changes to songs well known to the population. The 90s hit Barbie Girl has always been known as I'm a Barbie Girl in a Barbie world, but the lyrics are actually I'm a Barbie Girl in the Barbie world. Now this may seem like a small change, but it is minute changes like these that make the musical Mandela Effect so bizarre. Like the song We Are the Champions by Queen off the album News of the World. Many people recall the song ending with the lyrics of the world, but now the song just fades to silence. This leaves the song feeling unfinished and confusing for people now singing along to the iconic power ballad.
Of the world. Does he not do an of the world? I always thought he did an of the world.
Crazy.
There is a new music Mandela Effect dealing with the songs Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. Many people recall the lyrics being Sweet dreams are made of these, but the actual lyrics and title of the song is Sweet dreams are made of this. When the song is trimmed to just that word, you can hear the word this being said. The Marilyn Manson cover of the song also has this in the title. In this version, it also sounds like Marilyn Manson singing Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. Making things stranger, many have pointed out how the rhyme scheme no longer works if these is replaced by this, because the word must rhyme with disagree, and 7 C's, do you remember the lyric being this or these?
Are you sober now?
No, yeah. I'm never, but I have moments
When it comes to the foundation of heavy metal, many people think of the band Pentagram. Oops, I mean Black Sabbath. Back when Ozzy was still John and Tony Iommi was still missing his fingers.
This thing just come down on my hand, and it trapped my hand, and the reaction to pull your hand back, I just pulled the ends off.
This Mandela Effect has us looking at their sophomore album, Paranoid, and that opening track, War Pigs. When singing along to the first verse, now without looking at the lyrics, if you know the song, then sing along.
A few moments later.
Did that last line sound off to you? Many people recall sorcerer being sorcerers. Sorcerers of construction, which would make sense because everything else has been plural. Generals, masses, witches, evil minds. So would it not be sorcerers? When looking up the lyrics, I found possible reality residue on the site Genius, known for those artist interviews going over their song lyrics.
I like to make music that moves people. Twerk, 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 twerk. Bust it, bust it, bust it for the can.
With the original lyrics being sorcerer and the reunion lyrics being sorcerers. I also found Jack Black saying sorcerers. But I also found Mr. I Wish I Was Jack Black, and he says sorcerer.
Sorcerer of Death's construction.
Are we at war with reality or high like rock stars?
Twerk, 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 twerk.
The next Mandela Effect has us revisiting the We Are the Champions by Queen. It was brought to my attention in the comments of episode 3 that the song ends with Of the World during a live concert and in the film Mighty Ducks. When looking at the Mighty Ducks movie, the song does indeed end with Of the World. It also ends this way during the end credits of Mighty Ducks 2. And I would like to put forth this theory of 2 different versions of the song. Most of the time when you hear the song We Are the Champions, it is following We Will Rock You. But maybe there is a recorded radio edit that has the song end with Of the World for the times they want to play the track by itself. I would love to know what your theories are in the comments below. Even if you're not a fan of Bruce Springsteen, most of us know that iconic album cover, Born in the USA, where Bruce Springsteen is standing with his back towards us in front of the red, white stripes of the American flag, jeans on, and a red handkerchief hanging out of his back pocket. People have dressed like this for Halloween and recreated this very look, showing their dedication to the boss. The problem is, it's not a red handkerchief at all. It's a red baseball cap tucked into his pocket. This Mandela Effect deals with Britney Spears in the Oops, I Did It Again music video. Most people recall that red one-piece outfit that she wore, her long blonde hair, and a headset microphone. But now the headset microphone is gone, missing from the music video entirely. Like many other Mandela Effects, there are things that just don't add up. Like merchandise sold with this very same outfit, with one of the accessories being that headset microphone. People yet again dressing up for Halloween, always donning the headset microphone to complete the look. People have scoured the internet looking for any kind of evidence of the headset microphone being there. Finding this Lizzie McGuire episode where she talks about being Britney Spears in the Oops, I Did It Again video.
It'd be so oops, I did it again. Mom! I couldn't possibly look like Britney for at least 5 more years and like 5 million sit-ups.
Fans without a doubt know everything about the artists they love. Because you have maybe not seen this music video, there are people that watch it every single day. Britney Spears and the music video for the song Hit Me Baby One More Time. In the video, she wears 3 outfits, but it is the infamous schoolgirl outfit from the beginning of the video that has stirred up the controversy. Many people recall her skirt being gray and black checkered print, but now they are a solid black. This could be due to many schoolgirl uniforms having that pattern, and so our minds would assume this to be the same for Britney's uniform in the video. Also, there are school uniforms that have one solid color as well. On the other hand, people are adamant about remembering her skirt being the checkered print. The residual evidence being these pictures of others dressing up in the outfit. Even Britney herself wore the checkered print schoolgirl skirt as a throwback in this image. Has the skirt somehow changed to black? What do you remember? This update is about Kurt Cobain and the fuzzy pink jacket.
It was Courtney Love wearing the pink jacket. She and Kurt were both blonde, so it's a false memory.
Let us start with Courtney Love wearing the pink jacket. When looking for images of her wearing one, it was difficult. There are many images of her in a cheetah jacket, pink duster, pink dress, and this image of her wearing a pink jacket with a fuzzy pink collar, but no fuzzy pink jacket matching the one we see in this image. As far as them both having blonde hair, that is true, but Kurt also had pink hair while being with her. Elvis wore a pink jacket, Rod Stewart wore a pink jacket, the ladies from Grease wore pink jackets, this guy from Stone Temple Pilots wore a pink jacket, this guy from Stone Temple Pilots wore a pink jacket, and this guy from Stone Temple Pilots wore a fuzzy pink jacket.
The fuzzy pink jacket was worn by Scott Weiland of Stone Temple Pilots, which was also around that time period.
Could it be this image that has made so many people remember Kurt Cobain wearing the fuzzy pink jacket? Yet to date, there is no evidence of him ever doing so. Also, if you made it this far, I want to say thank you. I make these videos by myself and they take a lot of time, so I do appreciate you watching. And if you are not yet subscribed, then please hang out here more often by clicking that red subscribe button for future content.
How you doing?
This is Lars.
In July of 1984, Metallica released their second EP titled Ride the Lightning. This album got me through an entire summer at my grandma's. I put on my headphones and would get lost in the melodic bass played by Cliff Burton in The Call of Cthulhu, the absolute shredding in Trapped Under Ice, the heartbreak of Fade to Black, the uplifting lyrics in Escape, and of course, the all too real story of For Whom the Bell Tolls. This Mandela Effect has us asking what was on the cover of the album.
I remember there being a bell instead of a chair on the cover for the Ride the Lightning referencing For Whom the Bell Tolls. I remember my uncle years ago telling me that the thing on the cover was a bell. Years later, they told me it was a chair. And I was like, what? No. And then he showed me it, and I couldn't believe it was a chair. He said he never told me it was a bell, so I really don't know. Anyone remember a bell on the cover?
When looking for art showing a bell, I was only able to find this image. I then looked at art of the Liberty Bell that has a crack in it. not due to lightning.
No, it's always been an electric chair because Ride the Lightning.
Yes, true, but I remember it referencing both songs. The title track, Ride the Lightning, is about a man dying in the electric chair. Did this Mandela Effect shock you? Several new Mandela Effects have spawned from the song Love Fool by the Cardigans. People recall the lyrics being different in the song, one of the parts being the chorus. People recall leave me, go on and leave me, but it only says, say that you need me. The final lines of the chorus is where we find another Mandela Effect with the line, I can't care about anything but you. Many people recall this being, I don't care about anything or anyone but you. If you would like to know more about this Mandela Effect, maybe It's Mandela has a great video with a bunch of evidence of people singing the lyrics as many people recall them. You just got Mandela! This update is brought to us by the newest member of the Residue crew, Mike Decker, for bringing up a great example of Residue dealing with the Four Horsemen. Metallica's debut album, Come All, has the song Four Horsemen, and in the lyrics they say, pestilence. Since we are talking about Metallica's first album, there is a Mandela Effect dealing with the band photo. People remember a version of the album with Dave Mustaine, being where the lead guitarist Kirk Hammett is. Before Kirk was in the band, Dave was the lead guitarist and actually wrote a lot of the riffs they would use on later albums. I say later albums because he was kicked out of the band and never recorded on an official Metallica album. Although some people believe Dave did record the guitar on Come All, and the band said Kirk re-recorded the guitar so they wouldn't have to pay him. This is where we get to the image of Dave Mustaine being on the inlay of the album, and then once kicked out of the band, they made the decision to insert Kirk Hammett and do an album reprint. It would not be the first time the album had alterations. In fact, you can find a cassette tape of the album with the songs Whiplash, Blitzkrieg, and Am I Evil? These songs were later removed due to them being cover songs, and the band did not want to pay royalties to the owners, proving that maybe they would be willing to lie about the original lead guitar being Dave Mustaine, and a version of the album with him in the band photo. But of course, I want to know what you think about this down in the comments below. Kiss released their first album in 1974, and in the following year they would release Kiss Alive, making them superstars.
This is Kiss, each sold separately, and you can put them in any crazy pose you want.
Having action figures made and doing a deal with Marvel to make a comic book with every member's blood inside the ink.
And each of the four members of Kiss would take a pin and just prick their finger and get a few drops of blood to come out and drop those drops of blood into the ink, into the red ink.
Kiss is going to have its own comic book soon, featuring the four strangely attired and hairy fellows to be printed by Arcata Graphics. Printed in, if you believe everything you're told, in real Kiss blood.
The next year, the band would star in a made-for-TV movie titled Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. This is where we can discuss the first Mandela Effect having to do with each member's nickname.
Okay, I was sitting with my roommate, and we got to talking too about Kiss, and then we got some weird conflicting memories about stuff. When we Googled it, things had changed as thus: Gene Simmons, the Demon, Ace Frehley, Spaceman, Paul Stanley, the Star Child, Peter Criss, the Cat. But what I'm remembering, and I've been listening to Kiss since the early 90s, and I've had Alice 1 through 3, Destroyer, and Psycho Circus. This is what I remember. Gene Simmons, the Demon, Ace Frehley, the Star Child, Paul Stanley, the Spaceman, Peter Chris, the cat. Am I imagining things, or are any of you seeing the same change?
Space Ace was the nickname for Ace Frehley, and why all of his songs had a space or science theme. Paul Stanley is Star Child, well, because he has a huge star on his face, and it is in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park where Gene Simmons yells, "Star Child!" And Paul Stanley looks at this woman and does his star power on her.
You're looking for someone, but it's not Kiss.
Yes, Kiss felt right at home in comic books and in pop culture, bringing us to the next Mandela Effect about them and Scooby-Doo.
Me and my girlfriend were recently watching HBO Max when I saw the Scooby-Doo Kiss episode on there and noticed it was made in 2015. It looked extremely unfamiliar. I then questioned if there was an older one, since I swear I remember watching one that was more made in early 2010s. Is this a case of false memory or Mandela Effect?
Do you recall the Scooby-Doo Kiss movie being from an earlier date or an earlier Kiss cartoon? The show had crossovers like the Batman and Robin episode or Dick Van Dyke. What inspired this Family Guy bit about Kiss in a cartoon Christmas special if there was not an older animated series or episode already created? But of course, as always, let me know what you think down in the comments below. When it comes to terrible music soccer moms jammed to in the 1990s, Breakfast at Tiffany's had to be among the worst. It has the music video where the guy is riding a horse in the city, but if I want my city horse riding, I'm getting it from True Lies. Sorry. Not sorry. This Mandela Effect is brought to us by the comments section.
Also, Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something is now saying Breakfast at Tiffany.
When listening to the chorus, what do you hear? I don't hear an S at the end of Tiffany.
I said, what about breakfast at Tiffany? She said, breakfast at Tiffany.
Some people believe the S sound is there, but it is tacked on to the S in She Said. I slowed down this part and it's difficult to hear a separate S. But after slowing it down even more, I thought I could hear one. I listened to this song far too many times doing this video and loved every moment of it.
It's comprised of abnormal cells that shouldn't be in the brain, and they form a mass.
This S phenomenon is what friend of the channel Chrissy believes is happening here. She had this to say about it.
There's definitely an S after Tiffany's. It's Breakfast at Tiffany's, she says. You just maybe don't hear it because you're listening to she. But it's right there. It just mushes together. It's there. It makes no sense for it to not be. Who's just Tiffany? It's at her place. So it's possessive.
Let me know what you hear being said. Is the S silent, or did this just scramble your eggs?
I don't want lunch. I want breakfast.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm really sorry.
The first Mandela Effect is brought to us by friend of the channel and Mandela Effect expert, Tara Ito.
Michael Jackson's Thriller, album cover picture, zipper on black shirt.
When looking at the Thriller album cover, does anything look off to you? To many people, this image has changed. Do you recall this zipper being on the black shirt of Michael Jackson? When looking through the other images I was able to find of the same photo shoot, it was difficult to see the zipper. I then went looking for images of him wearing the shirt elsewhere. When it comes to Thriller, most people think of his zipper jacket or his other red jacket from the Thriller music video. There is also this red jacket he wore while playing live and now is infamous for this picture. So searching for Michael Jackson, Thriller, and anything zipper was going to bring up this jacket. I then started searching Michael Jackson black shirt, hoping to see him out and about with that same shirt on, but I couldn't find one. I even went through Studio 54 images to see if maybe he wore the shirt there. More than likely, he wore the black zipper shirt only for this photo shoot. When looking for people dressing up in this outfit, I was able to find this pretty accurate recreation, but the zipper is gold. Others have no zipper. I was hoping to find a portfolio of sorts from that photo shoot, but I was only able to find a handful of images. Do you recall the zipper being on the shirt? And if so, was it gold or silver? Next Mandela Effect has us looking at the film 8 Mile, a movie loosely based on the life of the famous rapper Eminem.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
I just rewatched the 8 Mile movie, and I was waiting for the nostalgic epic moment in the end, where Eminem drops the mic after his last performance. It's so clear on my mind. He holds up the mic up horizontally to his opponent, waits a second, and drops it straight to the floor with a boof from the speaker. Right? To my surprise, this didn't happen. He now throws it to his opponent with a curly little throw. I am so sure this isn't what it's supposed to be. I can't remember any movie where that epic visual would be like I remembered this, and I can't find any record of the scene being altered or deleted. Am I the only one?
Do you recall a mic drop in the film 8 Mile? Even though this deals with the final rap battle in the movie, I thought back to my memory of the entire film and could not remember a time when a mic was dropped. I then looked at Scary Movie 3, and in that film, he hands the mic to the other rapper and does not drop it.
Tossing the mic to Papa Doc was an iconic moment of the movie. I can't imagine it any different. Here, tell these people something they don't know about me. Throw his mic. I remember always thinking how corny mic drops were. I definitely would have remembered him doing that. I remember him throwing the mic to Papa Doc, and it made sense because the line right before that was, here, tell these people something they don't know about me. Because he was going on the whole time about, yeah, I am a corny white boy who acts black. I know it, you know it, we all know it. And there was a part where he clowned on him for knowing all the not-so-gangster aspects of Papa Doc's life. So the line, coupled with throwing the mic to him, makes total sense, whereas a mic drop wouldn't really fit in context.
Do you recall a mic drop being in the movie 8 Mile? Let me know down below. And if you would like to be a part of the Residue crew, then give an update on a covered Mandela Effect, and I will put it in a future video. You can do this by emailing the channel. Also, if you're feeling generous, there is the option to do a super thanks comment now.
I need that money.
Hey, you guys. Oh, my nose!
It's the story of a man named Brady. It's the story. It's the story.
The next Mandela Effect has us listening to the theme song for the Brady Bunch. Many people recall the lyrics being different than they are now.
Here's a story of a man named Brady. On this verse now says, it's a story. Some still swear they hear, here's a story on both verses, but I only hear it's a story on the man named Brady verse. But anyway, I checked all seasons. The kids sing the later seasons, but both say it's a story. In all the seasons, themes in the second verse. Least my ears.
When listening to the theme song, you hear here's in the beginning and it's in the middle. I first checked the Christmas special.
Here's the story. It's a story.
And then the song performed in the films.
Here's the story. It's a story.
I then started looking at covers of the song where I found some that say here's
the story of a man named Brady.
And some that say it's
the story.
It's the story.
And Jamie Foxx, who skips the line completely.
Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS.
Next, I looked up the lyrics, but depending on what site you use, you will get either here's or it's.
Beavis and Butthead had a spoof, and they used here's as well. Also, hardly ever watched Brady Bunch unless it showed up on Nick at Night, and I forgot to change the channel. Hadn't watched the original opening theme in a long time. Spoofs probably cause a lot of Mandela effects.
So what is real and what is residue? You decide. I had always believed that the moonwalk was first introduced at the Motown Awards in 1983, while Michael Jackson performed the song Billie Jean.
I remember watching this live and just being blown away. In my opinion, this was the moment that cemented MJ's place in not only music history, but his place in pop culture forever.
It's crazy looking back. This is now considered one of the most iconic moments in pop culture of the 20th century. The first time he wore the sequined rhinestone glove, first time he did the moonwalk, first time he performed this song. This is quite literally the most iconic MJ performance of all time. Rip to the king.
I was astonished to find out that this was not the first time the move had been televised. In fact, the moonwalk had been performed 8 times on television.
When we first did it in 1975, now you remember, Electric Boogaloo did it on Soul Train in 79. We was doing it 5 years before that. It was not called the moonwalk. It was called levitating or backslide.
With Jeffrey Daniel doing it in 1982, 1 year before Michael Jackson. But the most disturbing clip is the one of Bill Bailey performing the first real moonwalk, or at that time called the backslide, in a 1943 film called A Cabin in the Sky. But it is his 1955 appearance on An Evening at the Apollo that is most mind-blowing. Did you also think Michael Jackson created this move? If you like what we do here, then let us know by hitting the like button. I appreciate all of you, and let me know down below if any of these Mandela effects made you question your reality, and could we be living in a simulation?